What currently legal thing do you expect to be illegal in the next 20 years? Telemarketing. God, please, ban telemarketing. Commercials for drugs illegal in many countries already. I don't understand it to begin with. When I go to the doctor, they recommend the medication. Because they're the doctor. Do people go to the doctor and say, "Hey, I saw a commercial for Cymbalta, can I have a prescription for it?" I mean, they must since they're advertising to someone, but it's just weird to me. I just assume the doctor knows better than I do. Edit. Alright, I understand now how this could work in certain situations. If it worked out for you, I'm glad it did. Edit 2. Also, to clarify, Cymbalta was just the first drug I thought of. I'm not making a statement on Cymbalta in particular, I've never taken it and I know nothing about it. Multi-level marketing, a lot more people are seeing these for what they are. I worked as an IT consultant for large e-commerce setups. We're talking contracts at the low end of maybe $50M, plus some of the largest customers I worked with were MLMs based in Utah. There was no end to the money. They'd gladly fly in people from across the world to solve an issue, often at last minute, when most other companies would try solve it remotely. They were building systems capable of shipping more product per day than the Amazon warehouse down the road, which made no sense, but they needed it for the growth curve. It was absolutely insane. They scam money from across the world and suck it all back to Utah, Arizona. It's a lot of money. Why Utah, Arizona? They have state tax laws which permit membership joining fees to be attributed directly to revenues without regulation. In states with anti-pyramid scheme laws, membership is an isolated pot and cannot be more than X% of revenue, or otherwise the state considers the organization a pyramid scheme and shuts it down. Utah especially is full of Mormons who tend to buy this crap from each other anyway. More people are more successful in Utah selling MLM products. Former Mormon here. Spot on. They'll brag about how they only watch media from the library because it's free, and they're cheap AF, yet will spend $1 on MLM products because it's another Mormon selling it. Former Mormon too. Amway, Forever Living, Herbalife, doTERRA, all did the rounds in our ward. If the game can be sold to children, it should not have microtransactions. More importantly, kids should not be playing adult games. I'm tired of 11-year-olds kicking my ass in Warzone. Edit. Since this is getting big, it's mostly a joke. I grew up as a young child playing these kind of games. I was there when teabagging became a thing. I've been teabagged and I have done the teabagging. I have also been told how busy my mother is and have told others how busy their mom was. The trick is be better than them. As a man in his 30s, I destroy children in Halo. Yeah, I'm a 35-year-old and am constantly being called a cheater and getting 1v1 messages in COD. Motherduckers, I've been playing this shit for 25 years, of course I'm good lol. Meanwhile I play for 15 years and still bad as duck. I've been playing strategy games for 10 years and can demolish the eye even on the hardest difficulty because I can min-max to high hell. I've yet to beat my dad in a single game where he didn't let me win, and he stopped letting me win once I was 18 lamau. This is why I in many strategy games cheats. It's so hard to play against a real player versus an AI. Beauty contest featuring underage contestants. I want to say this will happen, but it will probably get worse. Have you seen dance recitals? Pageants seem classy in comparison. And those all-star cheer competitions. Yes, it requires a lot of athleticism, and the organizing groups will say they don't allow provocative choreo. However, when I worked at an arena that hosted them, the girls, all under 10, had routines that involved moves such as the entire group lining up, bending over with their backs to the judges, flipping their skirt up and slapping their behinds in unison. This is one example of the gross moves they made these girls do. And no, those teams weren't automatically shit. Even at the high school level, I remember when I was a teenager wondering why cheerleading was the one time girls were supposed to wear skimpy outfits that would have gotten them dress coded in any other context. I think a lot of the reason modern cheerleading exists the way it does is because there are a lot of people way too into that sort of thing. And the funny thing about those cheerleader outfits is they aren't even practical for what they are doing. Every time they would do a flip or a split, they would have to do this awkward shrug tug of the skirt to get it back into position because it would flip up. The newer styles are like that, skin-tight skirts. The pleated skirts with longer boy shorts underneath were pretty versatile. Adding to this, the undershorts length that works for you is based on circumference of your leg, and the width and elasticity of the lower hems. I find to understand why, but cannot recount an accurate explanation. Modern materials that use multiple strengths of elastic, often with directional preference, in various places so reduce how much the fabric shifts the skirts, are way less functional than the old pleated ones. TBH, skirts at all are kinda annoying AF to explosively move in, and it really should switch to shorts. There's a reason ballerinas wear tutus and not skirts. Government officials owning trading individual stocks. Edit, read the post as hoping and not as legit expecting. Edit 2, I was implying use of blind trusts broad index funds, opposed to individual stocks. I agree, it won't happen, in practice. A strong transparency law would be a step in the right direction. Revenge porn can be found all across the United States. Many states have passed laws against this, but some have yet to do so. Within the next 25 years, all states will most likely have laws against it, and/or there will be a federal law prohibiting it. Data privacy violations. Hopefully. Depends on where you live. In Europe, GDPR is pretty awesome in this regard. GDPR is amazing in that it's actually been used to punish corporations for privacy breaches while simultaneously being completely useless for protecting the privacy of end users. You have to opt into tracking and data harvesting now, so companies have started making insanely complex modals with massive accept all buttons on them. Anecdotally, 95% to 98% of all users will click that. Completely manufactured consent there, emo. We need laws that actually stop this shit. It shouldn't be legal to gather any data outside of access logs without real informed consent. If that completely destroys a given business, even better. If you can't exist without privacy violations, you shouldn't exist. One benefit to GDPR is that an individual has the right written in legislation to ask a company for all data it holds on that person. Not much for privacy, but at least you can know what data they have. You also have a right to be forgotten. But like most GDPR clauses, most companies aren't actually compliant, they just haven't been tested yet. Child marriage. Companies buying single-family homes, hopefully. This is something I've become more interested in because it's destroying the housing market in my area. If anyone is aware of bills or lobbying efforts on this LMK, I would be interested in any orgs putting together model legislation. We were rent-evicted for this very reason. Ducking sucks. We were paying $1,000 a month for a 3-bed 3-level townhome. Now we pay $1,700 for a 2-bedroom apartment. The government is trying to make more affordable housing. What is affordable housing? If I make just too much, then I have to have unaffordable housing? I hate this fucking world. Hopefully those family vlog channels on YouTube. You mean the ones where they're all yelling in large, nearly empty houses? I'm so happy that I have no idea what this means. Subscription services for certain product features. It's ridiculous that one requires a sub-service to use the key fob for his or her car. I feel that this is going to just get worse. I work at a car dealership. Was chatting with a customer who bought a new car for his daughter. He mentioned he just wished it came with remote start. He thanked me after I told him that it's better to get it aftermarket because the manufacturer charges a yearly fee after 6 months. This subscription shit is getting predatory. Family vlog channels. There's been many instances where families have exposed intimate, inappropriate parts of a child's upbringing, and I wouldn't be surprised if there are legal cases in the future for exploitation or damages. I'd say it will be age restricted, at least since the kids can't consent. My husband runs an ad agency and they do a lot of collaborations with influencers, some of whom have been around since they were really young, were pushed into the business by their parents, or these family mummy blog situations. He always says in 15 to 20 years, when these kids are adults, we're gonna see some unprecedented court cases of kids basically suing their parents for flaunting them online against their will. Often these influencers, God I hate that word, are making bank, and it would be interesting to see how much of this money actually reaches the kids or is just being spent by the parents anyways. We have a total ban of posting images of our kid online because of this. Word. My neighbor has a 7-year-old. I babysit her sometimes and she loves watching this same family so boring shit. Like they all go to an arcade and she watches them play the games. I'm like, there is an actual arcade downtown, you want to actually go? And she's like, no, I don't know how to do it. I'm like, JFC. One time we watched this family make a cake and she would laugh and smile so much when they didn't the stupidest things. I'm like, wow. These people are super famous for filming their kids. I can't imagine what's it like for those kids in school. To be the famous family. That's gonna be rough later in life. Kids shouldn't be famous. I struggle to find one famous kid that wasn't a total mess by 25. I'm like, there is an actual arcade downtown, you want to actually go? And she's like, no, I don't know how to do it. My friend says this about his kid, says it doesn't want to do certain things all the time. I want to say this to him, but I don't want to tell a friend how to raise their kid. But this is the internet, so I don't care. Ignore kids when they say shit like that. Children are dumb as duck. Drag them out to the arcade, they'll love it. They just say no to shit out their comfort zone. Ignore kids when they say shit like that. Children are dumb as duck. Drag them out to the arcade, they'll love it. They just say no to shit out their comfort zone and if need be, bribe them to get them to go. No kid can say no to ice cream offer to take the kid to get ice cream, then go do something fun. If you try to get them to participate of their own volition, then they're gonna act like a lump, why not? I want to do nothing all the time too. Gotta be willing to grease those wheels a bit. Edit, this is assuming that you'll do your best not to make the lactose intolerant kids miserable. Get them a rice-based dessert instead.